Hi, I'm Katy Bray, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I have a question. Are you an empath or a highly sensitive person, and you have a hard time keeping the energies of other people, places, and things out? Well, I think that that's a very common thing as an empath or a highly sensitive person. What else I see as being common is many people say, oh, you just need to ground more. You need to ground your energy more. And, often there's the visualization of the roots of a tree going to the earth, and that's our feet and our legs. And I think that that's actually a great visualization, by the way. And I think grounding is also incredibly important because we are the first people to just sort of evacuate our bodies. Very common. But I don't know about you. I know I have experienced grounding not working consistently for me as an empath. And I started noticing that years ago. And I thought, am I just doing this wrong? Do other people have the secret handshake that I don't have? Because it seems to be working for other people. And as I started working with more and more people, I was hearing them say the same things that I was experiencing myself. And that sort of cued me to go on an adventure to find some solutions. The way that I find solutions is I go in and I ask, and I start to ask for channeled information and channeled energy to sort of get me to be able to utilize what I get for myself. And then sometimes I'm guided into practices. So what I want to share with you today is if you are an empath or a highly sensitive person and you have found that doing grounding exercises doesn't consistently help you enough in terms of not taking on the energy of other people, I want to let you know that what I have learned is that it is essential that we do consistent work on our magnetic field, okay? Not just our grounding, but actually our literal magnetic field, our auric field. Because oftentimes, as much as we can ground, we can have a weak magnetic field. And you sometimes can know this if you find that you have a weak nervous system, because the nervous system and the magnetic field are very, very aligned. They're pretty much the same thing with a couple little nuances that make them not the exact same thing, but they're similar enough that we'll say they're the same thing for the context of what we're talking about. So you will know if your nervous system is fried, if you are overly stressed out, feeling drained a lot of the time or all the time. You may have chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. These are very common things among empaths. And certainly they are an acknowledgement of a weaker nervous system, i.e. magnetic field. You may find that it's hard for you to have a stable mood, or, as many empaths, there are certain environments you just cannot seem to go into. But even if it's not about, an environment that you're going into, you could be at home and you could be feeling the collective energy that is just draining you, and maybe you get moody. These are all symptoms that empaths often deal with, that grounding doesn't seem to help with many, many of us. And these are all indications that there is something going on in the magnetic field, that it might not be quite strong enough. And so I want to offer to you today that on top of doing your grounding, because that's still very important, what I want to suggest for you is that you start doing more breathing techniques, more breath work. I find that the yogic breathing practice of the breath of fire, if you're able to do that, is very powerful. You simply just through your nose very rapidly breathe. There's a pumping feeling right in your solar plexus going in sort of forcibly. So it's just that kind of breathing actually really strengthens your magnetic field. There are different yogic practices that can help you with this as well. I will be sharing some of those videos in the near future, but for the time being, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you start working on your magnetic field by way of doing breathing techniques. My favorite is the breath of fire because for me, it's magical. It creates this force field around me that I actually can feel. And so I sense how much it strengthens my magnetic field. And because we're working with breath, it naturally helps the nervous system and it gets your vagus nerve back online, which helps you go into using your parasympathetic nervous system. So that means you get to actually turn on your relaxation response. And it's actually through the mechanics of all of this that our magnetic field has the capacity to push out external debris, energy, and whatever from people, places, and things that don't belong here. See, our magnetic field it's like the skin of our energy body. It's a field of energy that truly is meant to protect us. And so if it is weak, we have no capacity to really shield ourselves from external forces. And so when you add prana, when you add chi through breath, it cleanses this force and it makes your magnetic field that much stronger. So I promise you that you do your grounding and you start working with your breath on a regular basis. When I say regular basis, I mean if you can do it several times a day, all the better. But definitely start your morning off with it midday, and then ideally a slower paced breath at night, because empaths, we do pick up on just as much at night as we do during the day. It's not just about the people that we come into contact with. Many of us are hard at work when we're sleeping at night energetically. We go somewhere else or we're picking up things from the neighborhood. So it's really important that you set your intention with your breath work to work on your magnetic field 24/7. And then your magnetic field has the capacity to start working on your behalf. Okay, so this is some really basic self-care for empaths that we have to do. We cannot take for granted that we just maybe ground, once or twice a day, or maybe you work with people and you ground in between clients or in between patients, whatever it is, customers. We can't just do it that way. We have to make this a practice that is about us first, and then it starts to take care of the energy of other people. So if you allow that to be a practice that you do throughout the day, in some way, shape, or form, I always do breath work when I use the restroom. It's an easy place to do it. When you get in the car, in your room, when you're just waking up in the morning, things like that, just even for 30 seconds to a minute throughout the day, you're going to feel the strengthening of your magnetic field and the health and vitality that comes with it, and your capacity to keep external energy out of your bubble so that you can then stay in command of your own energy field. And then you can actually really feel strong and intentional about what it is that you're creating in your life. Because I think sometimes we forget as empaths, it can actually be harder at times for us to manifest what it is that we want to manifest, because our energy is so busy leaking out everywhere else and we're being bombarded with other people, places, and things energy, that we don't have our own energy system that is right here streamlined so that we have command of it. And that's really what life is about. It's that we are here to use the currency of our own energy system and send it in the direction of that which we want to create. And it's really hard to do if we're inundated with other energy or we don't have enough of our own energy to do that. So strengthening your magnetic field is probably one of the most powerful practices that you can do on a regular basis that's going to give you an immense impact on your life and your sanity. Let's just be honest about that, right? So I hope that you got something out of this. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the comments section. Please make sure that you like this video and share it out if it was useful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe. You can like it as well, and you can watch more of my videos right over here.